What's up guys? Kyle with your Behind BBQ, and today I'm going to show you how to do a backyard brisket. So, a lot of people get scared. They don't want to cook a brisket, they don't want to screw it up. It's such a big piece of meat, it's hard to cook. How do I do this? How do I do that? Today I'm going to show you how to do it. Super easy, super simple, anybody can do it. Just follow my steps, everybody can do it in the backyard. So, first things first, I like to trim this big hard piece of meat here. So on the brisket there's a gray side. When you pull it out of the container, there's a gray side. And then you're gonna have like a regular looking side. This gray side, you don't want to eat that, so let's cut that off. So now you're gonna see your flat here, and then you're gonna see where it transitions into another muscle, where is your point, which is this chunk of meat. So your brisket comes up and sits on a point, so it's two different muscles and sits like this. So don't worry about separating it. There's a lot of videos out there, and a lot of different people say to separate it, cook them different. We're not doing a competition, we're just cooking for friends and family in the backyard. So we're gonna cook it all together at the same time. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. So cut that piece off, then you're gonna see this hunk of fat here. We're gonna wanna go ahead. We're gonna trim some of that off. And as you're cutting this, just kind of round it a little bit. Just round the edges, because you want no sharp edges, because when that smoke comes up, it's gonna fry these edges. And then when you're gonna cut it, when you're gonna start your slices, it's gonna get real brittle and fall off. You don't wanna do that either, so just kind of trim it up a little bit. There's some of this fat that's sitting on the top of here, just run your knife down there, kind of trim that off. Now, there's going to be a big pocket here. So like I said, with the two muscles, there's this big fat crease right here that is holding the two muscles together like that. Don't worry about that. We're in the backyard. Don't worry about that. Leave that all there. Now all these little high spots, you're going to want to trim all this down. So get your scissors out. Look at the brisket, you're going to notice the grain on this. The grain is running this way, okay? So, after you season it up, you smoke it, wrap it, do all that, you're ready to eat. You pull the brisket out, and a lot of people look at it and be like, dang, which way do I need to cut this thing? So, what I like to do, just as a reminder, is where the grain is running, you want to cut against it. So we want to cut this way once it's finished. So I'm going to just cut me a slit off here, right on the corner, cut me that. So that way when I'm done, when it comes off the smoker, I can pull this brisket out, I can look at it, I'm like, okay, that's where it is, my grain is running this way, so I'm going to cut against the grain and we're going to go all the way up, like that. So, little trick. So, let's flip it over. So you got this big old fat, nasty. So, it's kind of, I don't really like to mess with it a whole lot. I mean, fat is flavor. We're gonna put fat down. So the fat's gonna protect the meat. And I really don't wanna dive into this too much, but see these flaps, any hanging meat over that, I'd like to trim that down. All right, guys. We got our brisket all trimmed up, we got it aerodynamic, we kind of got it looking how we want it. So what I did is I went ahead and put it in a pan. So we're going to put it in a pan, it's going to catch all the seasonings and stuff when you start seasoning. So we're going to start seasoning. Rule number one, a lot of people don't forget to do, season the back side of the brisket. And I'll show you why later, why we do this. Okay, so the fat side is up now. So we're going to get our 𝗗cie, salt, pepper, garlic, SPG. Okay, 𝗗cie, that was SPG. Next, we're going to go 𝗗cie Texas beef. Next is 𝗗cie cow cover. Okay, get that on there. Now, another trick. Get a water bottle full of water and just squirt her down a little bit. This is going to just get the rub a little wet and help stick to your meat. And just kind of pat it, pat it. All right, that's the back side. Now we're going to do the top side of the brisket. Okay. All right. Okay, 𝗗𝗁𝗕𝗦𝗖𝗥𝗜𝗕𝗘, SPG. 𝗗𝗁𝗕𝗦𝗖𝗥𝗜𝗕𝗘, Texas beef. Okay, 𝗗𝗁𝗕𝗦𝗘𝗘 cow coverage. Let's hit it. Okay, so now this sucker is all seasoned up. We're gonna leave it on the table. We're gonna let this soak for about 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. We're gonna go light the grill, get that going, and then when she's ready to go, we're gonna throw the brisket on. All right, the brisket's been rubbed. It's sitting, it sat for about 30, 40 minutes as the smoker got up to temp. So I suggest once you season the brisket, leave it on your counter, go outside and fire up your smoker. So today, I'm using the 𝗗𝗄𝗕 his'𝗁 smoker. I used 𝗳elle Devil charcoal. I put 3 golf ball size of hickory chunks. So I got 3 hickory chunks in there. I got the smoker at 300. Now don't be scared. 300 degrees, that's where my baby likes to sit. So the smoker's sitting at 300 degrees. And so she's fired up, she's ready to go. So what we're gonna do is, let's put the brisket on. Okay, so, now the fat is going down towards the charcoal. Get rid of my gloves, shut this sucker up, boom, let it go. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let that go for about 30 to 40 minutes. So start a timer, 40 minutes, we're gonna come back out here, we're gonna spray it down with some butter and spray it down with a little bit of water. What's up guys? Okay, so the brisket's been on for probably about 4 hours now. So what I'm looking for is to put my finger on top of the brisket, and if there is no rub that comes off on my finger, then it's time to wrap. A lot of people use a thermopan and say, oh man, it's gotta be at this certain temperature, it's gotta be 180, 160, no, I don't do any of that. I just go by the finger. If I put my finger on there and there's no rub on my finger, it's ready to wrap. So wrap the sucker. Don't worry about putting a temperature in it, don't worry about any of that. That's all you gotta do. So, put my finger on there, there's no rub coming off, so I'm gonna pull the thing off, I'm gonna put it on aluminum foil. Make sure you have real thick aluminum foil, the heavy duty stuff. And what I did is I just put 2 sheets together and I folded them together to make one big piece because this is a big piece of meat. So that's what we're getting ready to do. So before we do that, we're gonna get one stick of butter, okay? Open that up. We're gonna cut it in half. Throw one there. So we're gonna put 2 sticks of butter like so, okay? Then, I'm gonna get the Texas beef, and you're gonna make a nice thick coat of this on the bottom. Okay, season that up. Okay, beef broth, we're gonna do that in a minute. So now it's ready to put the brisket right on top of that. So let's pull the brisket out. Man, she looked good. Okay, so we're gonna pull this sucker out. Sit it right on top of the butter. Okay, once she's there, wipe my hands off a little bit. Now we're gonna slowly start wrapping this thing. Just kind of pull these up a little bit. You're gonna add some more Texas beef to the top of this. It's all flavor. What we're making is you're gonna use the juice. It's gonna make an au jus. So once it's all wrapped, it's gonna break everything down. And now make sure you wrap it real tight as you can. Like that. Okay, leave one end kind of open. And you're gonna kind of open it up a little bit like that. Okay. And then we're gonna get ready to pour some beef broth. I would say about a cup and a half of beef broth you're gonna wanna use. So we're gonna start pouring that. You know, and you're gonna start noticing it. You want it a little bit less than halfway up the brisket, as far as you can tell from here. Okay. So after that, then slowly wrap it up tight. Wrap it up tight. So that was 2 sheets of foil that wrap this thing. I also have one more sheet I like to put at the bottom of this thing, just in case I poke a hole in it. Okay. Or I'll just go ahead and wrap it again. Okay. Wrap it again, wrap it again. Okay. You're gonna make it real tight. Boom, she's done. So now get yourself a pan. I always like to do this because I'll explain why. So put this inside of a pan like that, and it's gonna go right back in your smoker. The reason I do this is because during the cook sometimes a hole can come through the aluminum foil and all your au jus and all the juice that you just poured in there, all the good stuff, will fall down and it'll be completely dry. You won't have anything left in there, and you need the au jus for the end of the cook. So that's it, she's ready to go. Let's put her on. Again, the smoker's at 300. Just put that in, kiss that baby goodnight. You want that to go for, I would say, after the first hour, hour and a half. What you want to do is then you're going to start checking for tenderness. Now for tenderness, a lot of people say, oh, 206, the brisket's done, the brisket's done. No, don't listen to any of that. This is what I do. You get a warm piece of butter out, take the butter out of your refrigerator, put it on the counter, and let it get to room temperature, okay? Get your 𝗲•pen, get your thermometer, get something sharp, something pointy like this, and after an hour and a half, you don't want to go all the way through your brisket. You're just going to go on top. You're going to break the foil, and you just want to push slowly through the brisket. So when it goes through, you want it to go feel just like this. Take a piece of butter out and practice. This is how you want your brisket to feel. Just like that, going right through butter. So like I said, after an hour and a half, try that. Now you're gonna stick this in there and it's still tight? No, you want it to feel just like this. All right, guys? All right, the brisket's been on there for probably about 2 hours now, so we're gonna pull it off. Just open the foil, let it breathe for about 5 minutes. Woo. All right, the brisket's rested for 5 minutes. We're gonna pull it out, put it on the cutting board. And now let's cut this sucker open. Woo. All right, now that it's cut in half, set that over there. Let's cut this up. Hey, Pops, come try this.
Is it done?
Ooh. Looks good.
Okay. Wow, look at the juice. Wow.
Not bad, huh?
Outstanding, Kyle.
I hope y'all like this video. Please hit like, please subscribe, check out the description. I got all the links of everything I used in this video, and leave a comment, man. Catch y'all in the next video.